Amari Stoudemire rolling in those three-point shooting. And for the Suns, you've got Ginobili, you've got Parker running off Duncan. All those screens, whichever team can find a way to play the screen role the best, I think is going to win this series. But just a big win here tonight for the Suns if they can hold on. Just for their psyche, Kevin, to win game one. The last two times they've had home court against the Spurs and had the better record. The Spurs have won game one and gone on to win the series.
In the regular season, Phoenix beat San Antonio 2 out of 3 times. Nash hits the back end of 2. The lead is 6. Timeout San Antonio. Suns went into the penalty at 8-10. They've gone 12 of 14 from the free throw line in the pressure-packed fourth quarter tonight. Doug, in that first series for the San Antonio Spurs, they faced Jason Kidd. Now in this series, they've got Steve Nash. Pretty daunting task for even an experienced team like the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, you know, we heard Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson talking tonight to Chris Paul in the studio. No doubt this is a point guard-driven league now. And you can see tonight Steve Nash, the impact he's had on his team. Tony Parker, when he came in, the minutes he's played. 2 brilliant point guards here tonight in a league full of great point guards.
George Hill has 9. Stoudemire knocks it out of bounds. 19 seconds on the shot clock, and you see just under 24 to play in regulation. But Popovich is so good at matchups. I'll be dying to see what he does for game 2. He'll change things up in the adjustments he'll make.
Well, remember they lost game 1 in Dallas, and he told me again, reading a lot of stuff, he said, I had a guys play like a bunch of dogs tonight. Those guys came out and played a lot better in game 2 and 1 to steal the home court.
Well, the three-point shot dog has disappeared for San Antonio in this fourth quarter. 1 of 8 from beyond the arc for the Spurs in the fourth. The fans to their feet, they can smell a win. You've said it all night as the foul goes on that dice for the second time. The psyche of the team, the psyche of the fans, battling the demons from playoffs past between these two franchises.
Now if you're the Phoenix Suns, you say you got to get real greedy and you got to hold home court, get a decisive 2-0 lead. And if you're the San Antonio Spurs, you know you're coming in game 2 to try to get a split and go home. And if you've done that, regardless of what's happened here tonight, you're the Spurs, you go home with the home court. You have to feel very good about yourself. They just went home in the last series, beat the Dallas Mavericks, who had the best road record in the NBA. And the Mavs were not able to beat them on their court. So that's why it's so important for the Phoenix Suns to hold home court.
Tony Parker racing the other way for the San Antonio Spurs. This is a real 3. Nash defending. Manu Ginobili cannot get it in. Dudley has the ball. Foul called on Ginobili. Just under 8 to play. Well, the 100-point mark, too, has been a line of demarcation for San Antonio. When they've held their opponents in this postseason under 100, they've won. When they've allowed them more than 100, they've lost.
And that's that pace of the game that we talk about. And I think when Greg Popovich looks at it as transition defense, we talked about that, Kevin. 27 fast break points tonight for the Phoenix Suns. I just don't think they're going to be able to give them that many fast break points. And I think Greg Popovich will go back with his coaches. They're going to look at this, figure where some of those points came. But a big part of those came in that one run, Kevin, when the Spurs had taken that 3-point lead and the Suns went on that run to push it to a 10-point game. Most of that was done in transition, shooting threes and getting to the basket and getting some easy baskets.
It's Parker. Gill. The Phoenix Suns will go up 1-0 over San Antonio as Popovich waves to his former assistant Alvin Gentry, now the head coach of Phoenix. Tim Duncan tonight, 8 of 15 with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Ginobili had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Amari Stoudemire tonight with 23. Richardson had 27. They are standing by with our Marty Snyder.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, Kevin? 50 points for the Suns between these two guys. Amari, I don't know how many times you guys were up 14. They made several runs, but every time you staved it off. How did you guys do that?
Yeah, well, we played great defense out there. You know, I think we get a few stops, we're able to get into our offense a lot faster. We got it going offensively. Defensively, we did a phenomenal job out there. So, I think that's why we kept the lead.
How many times did Alvin preach pace and also defense in huddles tonight?
Oh,
I lost count.
Yeah, that was the method tonight. You know, keeping our pace offensively and make sure we get stops defensively, rebounding the ball, keeping those guys off the boards was another key for us.
Jason, a huge three for you late in the game. How big was this first game win for the psyche for the Suns team?
It was huge for us. Coming in here, we got a home court advantage. We want to keep that. We can't let them get away with a home court win here.
Their small ball really seemed to hurt you guys. Would you be surprised if Tony Parker doesn't start game 2?
Yeah, it really hurt us. We got to find a way to slow him and Manu down. They did a great job, but we came back and got some stops at the end.
All right, half a century points for these guys tonight, Kevin.
They shot 52% from the field. They had 9 more points beyond the three-point arc. They out-rebounded San Antonio tonight, Doug. A terrific game 1.
Yeah, I can't wait for game 2 because the Spurs know they got to come in here and find a way to get a split.
We'll see you Wednesday. Our producer, Scott Cockrell. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Our associate directors, Bert Bondi and Lori Brooks. Special thanks to Jeff Harris, Sammy Polis, and Pat McGrath. Kevin Harlan for Doug Collins and Marty Snyder saying goodnight from Phoenix, sending you to Atlanta and inside the NBA with Ernie Johnson.
Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, always worth the wait because you get to hear from the experts. Charles
All God's an expert, Ernie.
Kenny the Jet Smith on Game 1 between the Spurs and the Suns, and on Game 2 between the Celtics and the Cavs.
Who's an expert? God, only God.
All the highlights.
I made in his liking.
And all the post-game executive. You are, as a matter of fact. You're Chuck, too.